Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in, watching, and listening. This is going to be the mid-May 2022 reading for the zodiac sign of Scorpio. As always, my readings are very intuitive, so I'll provide you any intuitive messages that I receive, as well as the meaning of the tarot cards. I do, however, recommend you check out your sun, moon, and rising just to get a full picture of everything that's going on for you going into the end of this month. Also, if you have not done so already, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. When you subscribe, that helps me greatly and you'll be notified when I post future videos. But let's go ahead and get started here. In column number 1, we're going to take a look at what's wrapping up and coming to a close. Column number 2, we're going to take a general look at the end of May, or going into that second half of May. We're going to do a money column, a love column, and in the 5th and final column, we're going to do a message from our future self or spirit guides. We're also going to do 3 yes or no questions, a crystal of the month for you, and a healing note. But let's see here. Summary card for what's wrapping up and coming to a close for you. You have the card Listen. What I'm going to say here is I feel like for many of you, Scorpio, you have been doing more listening than talking lately. There was something that you needed to hear. But let's see what messages we have. The first card that we have is the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is a very generous card. It's a card of giving or receiving help. For some of you, I feel like you saw that somebody needed something or heard that somebody needed something and were able to help them. And again, this is going back to that listening. It's not that somebody asked you for help. You heard something and you knew that that person needed help, Scorpio. The next card that we have is the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is a very resourceful card. This means that you're doing well with your money. You're being resourceful with your resources. This could also be a card of fertility. So the person that you were helping could have been pregnant, or you could be pregnant, or there could have been news that you were found out that you were pregnant. But very strong card for fertility. Then at the bottom here we have the King of Cups. The King of Cups is very supportive, very tolerant, very empathetic. This is definitely you, Scorpio, this support, this empathy that you've been providing, this hearing, and it's hearing things that people aren't even asking for, but hearing these subtle cues of what people need from you. Let's clarify, though, and see what other messages I can... Oop, those two came out together. We'll roll with it. I try not to give you 2 cards, but you can have 2 this go around, Scorpio. The first clarifying card we have is the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is a card of heartbreak, divorce, loss, depression, surgery. I'm getting the feeling that this person that you helped, again, could have been pregnant, but likely they're going through some sort of separation or some sort of divorce, some sort of loss, some sort of depression, potentially illness or surgery coming into play as well. And again, this isn't somebody probably that asked you for help. It's just that you knew you needed to help this person, Scorpio. The next 2 clarifying cards we have here. Sorry, I'm trying to hold these with one hand and it is not working. Okay, the first clarifying card is the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is very confident, very self-assured. This is again going off the fact that like you just knew what this person needed. Like you just read this like a book and knew exactly what action needed to happen. The next card that we have is the Eight of Cups here. The Eight of Cups is a card of kind of withdrawing, retreating, moving on. If you see these cups are stacked up really nicely and yet this person is still moving on. And that's on top of that Queen of Pentacles card where you're being really resourceful. It is a card of fertility, but for this person, I do think that they're likely leaving a relationship and you were just kind of here to guide them through this. Again, it was like you just knew. Instinctively, you knew. The next card that we have is the Magician. The Magician is a card of very focused creativity, turning visions into reality. It's very inspired action, and I'm just going to keep saying this. You knew what needed to happen, Scorpio. I haven't seen a reading like this before. I haven't heard this message come up, so I feel like kind of like a broken record here, but it's like whatever you did, you just knew you needed to do it these last few weeks. It's that, again, that very inspired action here. And that is on top of that King of Cups, which is very supportive, very tolerant, very empathetic. Now let's take a look at our next column, which is a message, or excuse me, is kind of just a general look at what's going to happen through the remainder of the month. We have the card Productivity. Love a good productive month. Likely you're going to be very busy going into the end of the month, Scorpio. It's going to be a really productive month for you as well. So let's see what messages we have coming through here for you. The first card that we have is the Fool card. The Fool card is the first card of the Major Arcana. It's very much that new beginning. It's that new chapter, that new book. Fool card is a good card anywhere we have it in the reading. In this case, it's fresh hope. It's taking chances. It's going on a new path, going on a new adventure. Some sort of new beginning for you that you're going to be getting at the going into the end of this month. The next card that we have is the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is a card of friendship. There's no questioning your commitment and love and circle of support that's happening here, especially coming off of that first column. So again, a card of friendship, a card of celebration, a card of circle of support. I do feel like you're going to be celebrating this new beginning with your usual friend group, with your usual circle of support. I don't necessarily know how much this circle of support guided you to this new beginning, Scorpio, but again, it's like you'll be celebrating in this collective group here. The next card that we have is the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is very active, but also an indicator of new. And whatever this new beginning is, take a very creative approach to it. The Page of Wands screams creativity, screams new beginning. So if I can give you any advice, be creative going into whatever this new beginning is. Okay, the first clarifying card we have here is the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is a card of keeping and maintaining boundaries, but this is also a card of persistence. And persistence is the message that's really sticking out for me here, Scorpio. As you go into this new beginning, you do need to continue to push for this thing. Continue to be creative. Like, let's say, and I'm not saying this is, it could be, let's say you got a new job and you can't just like be like, oh, I got the job, I don't have to like work hard anymore. You need to continue to work hard in the new job. So stay persistent, continue pushing forward, stay focused on whatever you're hoping to accomplish with this new beginning. The next card we have is the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords indicates that there is some sort of choice happening. In the case with the Two of Swords, I feel like this does tie pretty directly to that new beginning. I wouldn't say that this is something that surprised you. This is, again, something you were working towards, something that you made a choice on, Scorpio. It didn't just like fall in your lap or just randomly pop up one day. This is a conscious choice that you made. Then at the bottom here, we have the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is an interesting card. If you look at this card, there's something different in each of these cups. And what I want to say here is like, don't have the mindset, again, remember we were talking about with the Page of Wands, this is very creative. Don't ever think to yourself, there's only one way that I can do this. The Seven of Cups is showing me all of these different paths, all these different things that could happen. And I'm not saying you need 7 different paths all the time, but try to avoid the mindset, Scorpio, of saying there's just one path, there's just one way for me to do this. Be creative, really brainstorm, and think very, very openly as you tackle this new beginning that's happening with the Fool there. Now let's take a look at our next column, which is anything related to money. So think job, career, finances, businesses you run, investments that you have. Again, anything money related. The first card that we have is the Judgment card. The Judgment card is a card that's always favorable for you, Scorpio, in any context, again, in your favor. The next, I guess, big thing that we talk about with the Judgment card is clarity. Make sure you're clear on things. And oftentimes when I see the Judgment card, there's some sort of final decision being made. But be very clear on whatever the decision is that you'll be making this month that relates to money, job, career, investments. The next card that we have is the Sun card. The Sun card is so wonderful. It really doesn't get any better than the Sun card. It's a card of material happiness, joyous outcomes, success. So in general, I feel like things are looking really good for employment and money on that front. Of course, we're going to clarify these cards and see where their messages come through. But you can't ask for a better card than the Sun card. Then at the bottom here, we have the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is very self-sufficient, very honest. I like seeing the Queen of Swords in the money column as well, specifically for that self-sufficiency piece. I'm not saying you need to be alone, but I'm saying it's nice to be financially stable to the point where you are self-sufficient. Doesn't mean that you won't have other people around, doesn't mean that you won't help, but it's a good indicator of financial stability when we see somebody that's self-sufficient. So like to see that in the money column as well. Oops. Looking good as we read through there. Let's clarify though and see what other messages I can give you. The first clarifying card we have is the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is a card that indicates your desire for long-term security. This is saying, am I doing the right thing long-term? Do I have the right job? Am I making the right money moves? Am I making the right investments? This is your desire. One thing that I will say, because we're on top of the Judgment card, this is favorable for you. I would say a very broad stroke, you are making the right choices, you're on the right path, you're doing really good things with your money here, Scorpio. The other piece to this, though, is be very clear on what you want long term. Again, the Judgment card is so heavily focused on clarity. So be clear on what you want, because when you're clear on what you want, that helps you obtain what you want. The next card that we have here is the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles is an interesting card. It has lots of different meanings. One of them is financial loss, but there are no other cards supporting financial loss. So I'm going to talk about a different meaning of this card, one that I believe is relevant to this reading, which is worry. There's something financially you're worried about. There's something about your job you're worried about. Maybe it's your future you're worried about with that Four of Pentacles. But there is no better validation than the Sun card. Again, the Sun card is that material happiness, that joyous outcome, that success. This is saying you're going to be successful in whatever you do, whatever financial venture you have. So there does seem to be something that you are worried about at this point, Scorpio, that relates to your job or money or investments. Again, somehow connected to money. But the Sun is like saying it's going to be okay. It's going to be successful. Then at the bottom here, we have the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles we had earlier in our reading as well. Again, that very generous card of giving or receiving help. I do feel like this is probably a reflection of those past few weeks and potentially financially helping somebody. But what I'm getting here really is like this is again the indicator, that strength of your financial situation. The Queen of Swords says you're self-sufficient. Again, it doesn't mean you're doing it on your own, but you could do it on your own. And then the Six of Pentacles is here saying, yes, you have enough where you could even help people. Like you have enough for yourself and possibly more for others. I'm not saying that you will be giving here, but it's just like, again, speaking to the stability of the finances at this point. Now in our next column, we're going to take a look at anything related to love. So think family, friends, relationships, children, anything you think of when you think love. The first card that we have is the Knight of Swords. If you look at this card, both the horse and rider are moving quite quickly. This is very fast-paced lifestyle change. So there's some sort of change coming on the love front, and it's going to come quite quickly. We're going to continue to look at that. The next card we have is the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is a card of feeling like you have to defend yourself. It's that self-defense type energy. It's also feeling like there's competition and feeling like you need to protect yourself from competition. Then at the bottom here, we have the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is a very low card. If you look at this card, the sky is dark, the person's laying down, and they do have some swords stuck into them. I do feel like for some of you, I'm not sure that there will be a relationship ending, but there's a relationship in your life that's not the happiest right now. But it does feel like it's about to shift and change. We're going to clarify that. But like you're in this competition state, or you're in this state where you're having to defend yourself, and that's not happy. It doesn't feel good. The Ten of Swords doesn't feel good. Let's clarify though and see what other messages I can give you here. The first clarifying card we have is the Star card. The Star card is a card of renewal, hope, inner clarity. If you're in this relationship that doesn't feel good, I do feel like it could correct. And that could be that rapid, quick change that we're seeing with the Knight of Swords. And this is saying that there's like hope and there's a renewal of energy. So whatever this relationship is, it feels salvageable. It definitely feels salvageable. Let's continue to read through here. The Page of Cups is up next. The Page of Cups is a card of hard work, and it is a card of love. It can be an indicator of new love. So for some of you, this relationship, whether it's a love relationship or a friendship, this feels new. Again, the Page of Cups is typically new love. And this is a card of hard work. Again, I was saying this relationship could be salvageable if you choose to do so, but this is saying it could be hard work to get to this point or get past this point of having to defend yourself or feeling like you're having competition. The next card that I have is the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is a card of loss, regret, grief, feeling abandoned, feeling unloved. Again, these two cards together is just really low feelings. Whatever this current relationship is, it doesn't feel good right now, Scorpio. But again, there does seem to be hope that it could be salvageable if that's the route you want to go with some work. Now let's take a look at our fifth and final column, which is a message from our future self or spirit guides. We have the card Preservation. Preservation is always good. It's about preserving your time, your energy, your words, your money. But let's see what messages we have coming through here. Okay, our first card is the Strength card. The Strength card does mean strength, but it does have some other meanings here. This is a card of self-love, unconditional love, self-respect. The lion on this card does mean courage. We're going to keep clarifying here, but I feel like there's something like you need to be taking care of you. And that ties really well into that Preservation card at the top. This is taking care of you. This is giving yourself what you need. The next card that we have is the Ace of Wands. Anytime you have an Ace card, it is a card of newness. The Ace of Wands is new project, inspiration, urge to create. Again, think newness there. Now at the bottom we have the High Priestess. The High Priestess is a card of trusting your intuition. And what I'm going to say here, this could be new for you to do for you, Scorpio, for you to preserve your energy, preserve your words. I'm not saying you're argumentative, but let's just use that as an example. Like maybe you're quick to argue with somebody and this is saying, well, I'm just going to stop arguing with people going forward because it's not worth it. But you need to preserve, you need to take care of yourself. You need to trust your intuition as we navigate through these situations. The first card that we have for clarifying is the Hangman. This is like kind of stagnant. I feel like there hasn't been a lot of movement here in the past. Again, this doesn't feel like something you've done before. This kind of taking care of you, preserving you is going to be new for you, Scorpio. The next card we have is the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is a very deep love card. There definitely could be a new relationship on the front for some of you, especially paired on top of that Ace of Wands. So two new cards specific to new love. The Two of Cups is very romantic, a card of partnership, a card of proposal, marriage. That Strength card is unconditional love. For those of you that going into that new relationship, I think it could be a very strong, healthy, unconditional love type relationship. Then at the bottom here we have the Six of Wands. This is a card of victory, award, recognition, good news, success. Overall, you're just going to be much happier in this preservation state, this trusting your intuition, knowing what you need, knowing what you want, Scorpio. Now at this point in time, I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask 3 yes or no questions. We're going to use the Gypsy Witch fortune telling deck. If you don't have 3 questions in mind, you can pause the video and think of them really quick. But for question number 1, we have the 10 of Hearts. This is number 7 card. That's going to be a yes. Question number 2 is the 7 of Diamonds. This is number 38 card. That's going to be a yes. And for question number 3, we have the Jack of Hearts. This is number 22 card. That's going to be a no for me. So yes, yes, no, Scorpio. If you watched your video earlier this month, we did pull a card from this Healing Stones deck, which is a crystal to keep with you throughout the month of May. Your crystal this month is fluorite, which helps with order, structure. It helps you know when to say no. Helps with clarity of thought, gives you that healthy ego. We have a really nice, pretty piece of fluorite here for you even, Scorpio. And last but not least, we're going to pull a card from our Healing Notes deck, which is just a positive note to end on here. There is something beautiful about all scars of whatever nature. The scar means the hurt is over, the wound is closed, healed, and done with. Thank you so much, Scorpio, for tuning in, watching, and listening. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how this video resonates with you. Again, subscriptions help me greatly, as well as you being notified when I post new videos. Also, if you feel inclined, to include my Venmo in the comments box if you'd like to make a donation. But thank you again, Scorpio, and have a wonderful rest of your May.